Global TV News Express headlines. Federal government borrows for 2024 workers salary review. Bridges Fiscal Responsibility Act on deficit. CBN to freeze bank accounts without BVN NII starting April 2024. Anambra residents to experience 5-day blackout. ECOWAS condemns violence in Guinea-Bissau. Stay tuned for the main news. Hello and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV News Express here in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Fauziya Lukman. At the backdrop of the pressure from the organized labor, there are indications that the federal government will rely on borrowing to implement its plan to increase salary for federal workers in 2024. This indication emanates from details in the Budget of Office of Federation BOF notes on the 2024 federal government budget, where it attributed to the rise in deficit to three key factors, including salary review, among others. It stated the high projected level of fiscal deficit in 2024 is partly attributable to the proposed salary review of federal workers across board. The estimated deficit amounting to 9.3 trillion naira according to the BOF will be funded by both domestic and external borrowing. The other two key factors drivers of the deficit in 2024 are increased pension obligations and higher debt corp services. The planned federal government deficit represents about 50% of the total FGN revenues, but analysis projects a higher proportion given the current revenue constraint as well as actual performance in 2023. The federal government says it's working with the United States, the United Nations Program on HIV/AIDS, and the Global Fund on initiative aimed at ensuring country ownership and sustainability of national response to HIV/AIDS beyond 2030. The collaboration came just as the Secretary to the Government of Federation, Senator George Akume, revealed that President Bola Tinubu's administration is committed to sustaining the initiative to treat more HIV patients annually using resources mobilized locally. The SGF, who spoke during the commemoration of the World AIDS Day in Abuja on Friday, said the government recognized the invaluable contributions of communities in the fight against HIV/AIDS. The Nigerian Immigration Service has assured Nigerians will receive their passport 3 weeks from the day of application submission, except in cases of unanticipated technical difficulties. Speaking to reporters at the opening of the Igbobo Passport Front office in the Igbobo Bayeko Local Council Development Area of Ikorodu, Lagos State, the Controller General, Caroline Adepoju, stated that, bearing all technical problems, Nigerians should be able to completely apply for their passport, and within 3 weeks, they should be able to get it. According to her, since national identity numbers are connected to passport, it is crucial that all applicants registered using the same information as the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC. The Military High Command stated that troops, in collaboration with the operatives of the Department of State Services, arrested the leader of Islamic State for West African Province terrorist group in North Central and Northwest Zone. Although the military did not identify the terrorist leader, it is said he was still in custody. A statement by the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, said the resolve of the military to go after the leaders of the terrorist group led to the arrest of the terrorist leader. He noted that air operations conducted in the region has led to the destruction of terrorist enclaves. The Chief Whip of Senate, Senator Ali Ndumi, has defended the rendition of the President Bola Tinubu's campaign tune at the Hollow Chamber of National Assembly during presentation of the 2024 budget, saying it's not a big deal. Earlier on Wednesday, during a president's presentation of the appropriation bill before the joint session of the National Assembly, the band delivered a rendition of the Tinubu's campaign tune as the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress (APC). Speaking on the development, Nduma said it's not really right, but equally it's not a crime. Honestly, it's not a big deal, quote and unquote. In this country, we use pick on trivial things. Indications have emerged that National Assembly will pass the 2024 appropriation bill of 27.5 trillion naira on Tuesday, December 19th. The Senate and the House of Representatives had passed the renewed hope budget for second reading. A Deputy Senate President, Jibrin Barrow, hinted during the plenary that the budget might be passed by the lawmakers on December 19 before embarking on their Christmas and New Year break. During the deliberations, senators applauded President Bola Tinubu for his good intentions for the country, but some lamented the failure of the executive to provide the details of the budget. Members of the Nasarawa State House of Assembly unanimously elected Aladi Jatau, representing the Kokona West constituency, as Speaker of the House. Similarly, the position of the Deputy Speaker went to Mohammed Oyanki, member representing the Doma North constituency. The newly occupied positions followed Tuesday's sack of the former Speaker Ibrahim Abdullahi at the appeal court sitting in Abuja. The Nigerian Navy says its personnel have impounded and destroyed a boat conveying drums of illegal refined automated gas oil in the seaworld of the Bonny Island Channel in Rivers State. A top official in the Navy in Bonny, who didn't want his name to be mentioned, disclosed to journalists on Friday, saying the boat was arrested off the Bonny River. He stated in a coordinated effort the diesel-laden boat was destroyed by men of the forward operating base Bonny, putting the estimated quantity of destroyed product at 150,000 liters. The official further said the recent efforts by the security outfit was predicated on the charge of the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, to officers and men to stamp out criminal activities in the maritime domain. With the alarming rate cases of tuberculosis increasingly yearly, countries have been called upon to domesticate the global campaign towards ending the scourge of tuberculosis by the year 2030. This call was made at the high-level meeting organized by Stop TB Partnership Nigeria towards achieving a world free of tuberculosis. Global TV brings you the report. In a high-level meeting which was organized by multiple actors including the federal government of Nigeria, United Nations and a host of other organizations among others, provided a forum to appraise the achievement of the fight against tuberculosis and what needs to be done towards achieving the set of goals of a world free of tuberculosis by the year 2023. Speaking at the meeting, the vice chair of the Stop TB Partnership in Geneva, Austin Obiefuna, shed light on the aim of the high-level meeting.
It's for countries to go back home to understand what it fits in for them for the political declaration, because the political declaration is actually a global document which is meant to be adopted by countries. And adopting it by countries means that we need to understand what are the global targets and what is the share for you in your countries. We are looking at countries now domesticating those results, those targets coming from UNHLM, and how it will help them in terms of their program.
Speaking further at the meeting, the World Health Organization Chair on Tuberculosis, Dr. Omoniyi Amos, spoke on the efforts being administered locally and globally to end tuberculosis.
The NTB strategy we are talking about was from WHO, and most of the guidelines, most of the guidance document, strategic plans, how to do it, the ideas, what is conceptualized by WHO. And at country level, in addition to helping to mobilize, helping to develop the guidelines, develop the innovations, we also support country effort to mobilize resources, especially international resources. We also help the government to track, to be able to track the indicators, the cases, and use also the data to inform the decision. The target divided by state, the state will know their target. We're going to have detailed budget. We're going to know what the government is going to contribute, what the state government is going to contribute, what we are going to bring on board to be able to reach.
The overall goal of the Stop TB Partnership Nigeria is to end the global tuberculosis epidemic deaths and cases set for the year 2030. Fauziya Lukman, Global TV News. The Executive Secretary, National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, NCPWD, James Lalu says that 5.1 million Nigerians are currently living with disability. He made this known during a one-day program for the issuance of permanent certificate to persons with disabilities in the Southeast held in Owerri on Friday. The NCPWD was represented by the Commissioner's Acting Director, Compliance and Enforcement, Ikem Uchebulam, said that the figure is based on reports by World Health Organizations. To mark the pivotal impact communities have had in shaping the HIV response as well as global health at large, AIDS Healthcare Foundation AHF at Nigeria commemorated the 2023 World AIDS Day walk in a walk in the FCT Jabi. Global TV takes you there. In these walks are supporters from all parts of the FCT to create awareness on ending AIDS before 2030. The chairman of the House of Reps Committee on AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria, Amobi Godwin, flagged off the walk with members of the committee from the police post at the Berger bus stop under the bridge to the AHF office at Jabi. In his address at the walk-off, he declared the support and commitment of the ATMC committee to implement the progressive legislative agenda that can provide Nigeria to achieve the LDG goal to end AIDS and tuberculosis in 2030.
By the Nigerian government and her implementing partners, and by joining the civil society organization present here today, declare the support and commitment of members of the ATM committee to implement a progressive legislative agenda that Nigerians can be proud of and that is able to provide the needed operational environment towards achieving the SDG Goal 3 to end AIDS and tuberculosis by 2030.
Speaking further, the country director said,
with the message and the theme, it's not over, and also letting communities lead. This is important because worldwide we are using this day to remember those that have passed and those who are living with HIV, and all the players and donors and governments who have put hands together, resources together.
Speaking on effort made towards the fight against HIV/AIDS, Dr. Benedict pleaded with global leaders to place HIV high on the health agenda to ensure that resources are available.
That is why the team for this year, the global team, is what? Let community lead. AHF itself, our team is not over, because we know that it's not yet over. We want to make sure by 2030 we eradicate HIV totally in Nigeria with the goals of UN AIDS 95 strategic goals. These strategies will help everybody that is living with HIV to actually come out and be on treatment. And once you're on treatment, the chances for you to have your viral suppression done is very, very okay.
This day is set aside to remember those living with HIV and those who have lost their lives to HIV. For Global TV celebrating World AIDS Day, Fauziya Lukman, Global TV News. In a bid to create introspective analysis of the growth of pathology service in Africa, pathologists from across Africa converge in Abuja for a conference that looks to explore latest trends in modern pathology. Global TV brings you the report. As pathology is the science of the causes and effects of diseases, especially the branch of medicine that deals with the laboratory examination of samples of body tissues for diagnostics and forensic purposes, pathologists drawn from across Africa seeking how to, among other things, make the most of latest technology in the area of personalized cancer care. But cancer treatment is one small aspect of pathology, as Minister of Health says it's particularly crucial that the country goes much further to look at the area of forensics and autopsy in solving crimes, and says the Ministry of Health is open to collaborating with the police to making it possible.
But I'm sure you heard me tell the AIG that we are looking forward to a collaboration. We do not have a collaboration, but I said we would look forward to a collaboration. As Federal Ministry of Health, under the coordinating minister, Professor Ali Mohammed Pati, and the Minister of State, Dr. Tunji Alausa, is to save life, reduce physical and financial pain and ensure a healthy nation. Without a healthy nation, you cannot have a wealthy nation.
Chief Medical Director of Federal Medical Center, Abuja, Saad Ahmed, says embracing the latest forensic technology will be a huge milestone in the administration of justice in the country.
At the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria, Faculty of Pathology, we have actually established, and is the first subspecialty training, in forensic pathology.
Poverty and less than adequate willpower by African government, a cross-section of the pathologists at the conference says, is responsible for the poor state of pathology on the continent, with Africa having a lot of catching up to do.
When we say cancer, people think that cancer is a single disease. It's not. Even if you take cancer of the breast, there are so many types of it. And even the same type, when two different people live differently. And that is why we talk about personalized treatments.
The main issue in our practice is that we don't have all the techniques, the modern techniques to explain, to make diagnosis of disease and also to explain causes of deaths.
Nigeria's health ministry says it looks forward to collaborating with the police to develop forensic technology to the point of solving crimes in line with global best practices. Fauziya Lukman, Global TV News. You're watching Global TV News Express, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. When the News Express returns, Nigeria-Germany signs agreement to accelerate cement power project. The news continues with details of these and other stories right after this short brief. Please don't go away. This is Global Television, bringing you live broadcasts of the News Express from the nation's capital, Abuja. A quick look at the foreign scene, where Russian President Vladimir Putin signed a decree on Friday, boosting troops numbers by 15% in a move the army said was due to threats associated with the Ukraine offensive. The move comes as both Ukraine and Russia seek to gain ground and replenish their ranks in the conflict, whose front line have been barely moved in recent months. The increase in the full-time strength of the army is due to the growing trend to our country linked with the special military operations and the continuing expansion of NATO, the army said. It said the number of serving social armies would increase by some 170,000 people, and that this was an adequate response to the aggressive activities of NATO bloc. It added that the plan did not correspond with another mobilization drive and unpopular measures that caused an exodus of men out of Russia last year. No fewer than 50 students from the University College Dublin have been involved in the construction of Republic of Ireland's first successful launch satellite. The satellite ERSat-1 is 1-2-unit CubeSat, miniature cube satellite, equipped with 3 equipment, and was deployed into the orbit from a Falcon 9X space rocket from the Vandenberg Space Force Base in California, United States. The student-built satellite was constructed under the guidance of the European agencies. The launch of the educational Irish research satellite ERSat-1 has been described as a major milestone in the nation's space industry. The Economic Community of West African States have strongly condemned an outbreak of fighting on Friday in Guinea-Bissau, where the situation has returned to calm on Saturday. Clashes between members of the National Guard and the Special Force of the Presidential Guard broke out in the capital, Bissau, leaving 2 dead. ECOWAS stated in a statement that it strongly condemns the violence and all attempts to disrupt the constitutional order and rule of law in Guinea-Bissau. ECOWAS further calls for the arrest and prosecution of the perpetrators of the incident in accordance with the law. And let's move to business, where Governor Alex Otti has concluded plans to increase the salary of Abia State workforce. Otti disclosed this in an Umahia during a media parley with journalists, stating that he is engaging with stakeholders to improve the minimum wage of state workers and that soonest the package will be made public. The reason for adjusting the package, he stated, was in line with the realities at hand, especially the economy, adding that recently retired permanent secretaries and directors would receive arrears of salaries and gratuities due to them while reassuring of his commitment to the free pension arrears in the state. Nigeria and Germany signed the Presidential Power Initiative Agreement to improve electricity supply in Africa's most populous nation. This was disclosed in a statement by Special Advisor to the President, Ajili Ngelale, saying the signing was presided over by President Bola Tinubu and the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. While the Managing Director of Nigerian Power Company, Kenny Anui, signed on Nigeria's behalf, the Managing Director of African Cement AG, Najah Haakonsen, signed for Germany. Speaking at the signing ceremony in Dubai, Managing Director of the FGN Power Company, Kani Inoue, highlighted Siemens Energy's effective delivery of crucial equipment worth over 63 million euros to the country since the project commenced. The Central Bank of Nigeria says it will freeze accounts without a BVN, bank verification number, or the National Identification Number (NIN) from April 2024. This is according to a circular by the Apex Bank, which instructed banks to place a post-no debit restriction, which prevents customers from making withdrawals, transfer, or any other debit for all existing Tier 1 accounts, wallet without BVN or NIN. It also said all BVN and NIN attached to accounts or wallet must be electronically revalidated by January 31st, 2024. According to the bank, a BVN or NIN verification will be conducted shortly, adding that the move is part of its efforts to promote financial system stability and strengthening of the Know Your Customer KYC procedures in financial institutions. The bank will also carry out comprehensive BVN and NIN audits shortly, and where breaches are identified, appropriate sanctions shall be applied. The Enugu Electricity Distribution Company PLC has announced a 5-day power outage in some parts of Anambra State. The organization said the outrage is to enable the Transmission Company of Nigeria engineers to carry out maintenance on their facility. This was disclosed in a statement issued on Saturday by the Head Corporate Communications EDC, Emeka Eze. Eze added that as a result of the planned maintenance, the 60-megawatt power transformer at the CMC station will be shut down for the days the maintenance will last. The EEDC distributes electricity to the southeast states. The Naira closed the week at 927 Naira 19 kobo per dollar on the official investor and exporter forex window. This was a 16.64% decline from the 794 Naira 83 kobo per dollar it closed the week that ended November 2024. According to the data from the MX Security Exchange also, the turnover dollars traded in the market improved from $75.82 million to $111.14 million in the period under review. On Friday, the Naira began trading at 815 Naira per dollar for the day before hitting a high of 1,160 Naira per dollar and a low of 701 Naira per dollar within the day. It eventually closed trading at 927 Naira 19 kobo per dollar. Last week Friday, the Naira traded at a high of 1,136 Naira per dollar and a low of 700 Naira per dollar. The Naira has continued to fall despite the Central Bank of Nigeria's attempt to clear a backlog of the foreign exchange forward contracts. The Apex Bank Governor Olayemi Cardoso recently stated that fiscal deficit and public debt increases are the adding pressures to the external reverses and contributing to the exchanging rate or instability. The federal government, through the Nigerian Orientation Agency, has launched a comprehensive natural gas keke napep to cut down the high cost of transportation in NOA. In collaboration with the Simple Group of Companies and Ecomid Acres, launched on CNG on Friday in Abuja. The tricycle is said to consume less fuel compared to the existing tricycle that uses petrol, and as such will cost down the cost of transportation to the barest minimum. That's it on Global TV News Express. We are on StarTime channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG. and other handles now showing on your screen. On behalf of the production team, I am Fauziya Lukman, thanking you so very much for watching.